There are shows in this world that we will never fully understand, except Ghost Adventures. We have watched every episode to build our obsession, our fandom.
Watching alongside each other because no one we know really gives a damn. Watching Zach and crew catch groundbreaking proof of the paranormal, inspiring us to explore our own interest in otherworldly phenomena. This is our podcast. We are Paranormal Juntas.
What up, everybody? It's me, Leah.
And it's me, Bethany.
And we're the Paranormal Putas. Damn straight we are. And we're back with a personal paranormal experience episode. It's kind of a lot to say.
Just for you.
Just for you. This week we're chatting it up with the crew of Ghost Seekers Texas, and this was a lot of fun. We met these guys on social media, and we think y'all are going to enjoy it. And if you don't, don't say nothing about it. You know what? If you don't, screw you. We're kidding. You can have opinions and stuff.
Whatever.
Enjoy.
Alrighty. Hey, everybody. So we have here Alex, Beth, and Chris of Ghost Seekers Texas. Hey, guys.
How's it going?
Hey, super pumped to have y'all. If y'all could do some quick intros so our listeners know who we got.
Yes. I am Alex Fountain. I am the lead investigator of Ghost Seekers TX.
I'm Chris. I'm one of the cameramen on crew.
And I'm Beth. I'm also someone else on cameras.
Very excited to have y'all here. Have really been enjoying.
For having us.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. We've really been enjoying the content and getting to see what you guys have already been putting out there and some really awesome stuff. Oh, my goodness. Like, I couldn't, we say it all the time. Me and Bethany are not investigators. So to see y'all do what y'all do is just really awesome. So we would love for y'all to share what got y'all into the paranormal, maybe some of your first experiences as individuals and how y'all came together to create Ghost Seekers.
So what really made me get into paranormal investigating a lot more, my experience at Woman Hollering Creek. I'm not sure if you guys have been there. It's like on the borderline between San Antonio and Schertz. So that is, sorry if I butcher this, that is one of La Llorona's sightings. This was when we had no equipment, no cameras, no like EMFs, nothing like that. It was just phones and phone recordings. So we're on our third EVP session, I believe. And this was in October of 2018. And we're sitting like right at the ledge where our feet can hang off, where the water runs under. And our friend Devin starts asking like some provocative questions.
Can you please give us a sign to let us know that you're here?
I'm like not really there. And I had to have my friend Christian refresh me on what happened. Apparently, from what Christian and Devin saw, my body was kind of leaning back towards the road, and Christian, he's on this side of me, and he grabs me and is like shaking me, and I'm like not snapping out of it, and he threw me onto the dirt like a good friend and just got up, and that's when I started waking up. And I just started bawling my eyes out and running towards the car. And the next thing I remember is seeing Christian dolphin diving through my window.
What?
Dude.
What?
Dude, no, we need to get out of here right now.
We just booked it right after that. We stopped at the gas station, and I was like, Christian, what happened? Like, what happened to me that y'all saw? Because I wasn't there mentally, like, I could not remember. And as he was like telling me this, it's like making me start to shake. Like, I'm a little shaky right now.
Dude,
Open up.
I'll lock your car. Dude.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Let's go. What did you hear?
Let's go.
What did you hear?
Start your car, homie.
You're good.
Start your car.
What'd you hear?
It was just very unpredictable, I guess you could say, because I wasn't really expecting anything like that to come through at that such of a level. To this day, that still bothers me. Like, I don't really open up about it a lot. It was just very traumatizing for me. And that's what made me really push more into this to find answers, like, how do they do this? Like, how are they able to take control over the human body and mind? It's just a scary thought when you start to really dig deep into it.
With that, you said you started crying, and of course, only if you're comfortable sharing. I'm curious what emotion you felt and what kind of led to that. Was it more out of fear because you couldn't remember, or was there like...
It was definitely more out of fear because I couldn't remember a single thing that was happening to me.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was a major possession. It was definitely something was trying to like channel, speak through me, I guess, but nothing was coming out. It was just in.
So what about Beth, Chris? Did y'all have any experiences?
I've always been pretty interested in like the paranormal world. And growing up, I lived in a house that before my family moved in, the previous owner had like shot himself in the master bedroom for his wife to see. So all that stuff was still like, you know, living there when we had moved in. I remember being probably elementary school age and like this giant wooden airplane, like bigger than like this couch, would like be hanging on the wall. It would like thud like almost like across the room, super loud, somehow flew off the wall. I had like a little snow globe. She'd like wave her hand at night. Just small things would move. Same reoccurring dreams that I'd wake up and like feel my body like kind of numb. And this would happen like weeks on end at a time. And I think the more that we've gone out to the places, I've learned like how energies and spirits will kind of like channel through you with emotions. Like at the Old Park Hotel, when we were there, I had this like overwhelming feeling of like sadness and anger and just scared. And I'd find myself looking down the hallways, just looking pissed and just angry from whatever was still there. Like it wasn't my emotions. And I think more recently, every place we've kind of gone to, me myself is like kind of more susceptible recently to emotions and energies at these places.
So kind of more on the sensitive side then, right? That's something that I've said before. I think the more and more we get into this type of stuff, right, and the more that you allow yourself to be aware that this is a thing, like this is really happening, that the more sensitive, right, you just naturally become with that. So if it started out at a young age and you're just kind of like building on it, then yeah, man, tap into that superpower, because that's a huge indicator for the supernatural and the paranormal. So that's really cool to hear.
So my first encounter with ghosts, I don't think I've told you all yet. But at my old apartments, it was just me, my mom, and my siblings. And at this time, I think I was sharing my room with my little brother. But we had this old vanity mirror we got from my grandpa. Like, I don't know where he got it from, but we got it from my grandpa. And it was like really old, and we were supposed to put it up on like a wall for me for whatever reason. And that night, I just like woke up. And obviously, as you do when you sleep, you wake up. But I remember seeing like a boy, like just like half his body on the higher end of the mirror, bloodshot eyes, just staring at me sleep. And like, you know how like in the movies, like the kids like hide under the blanket? Mm-hmm. I hid under. Did not like, even like I was like not going to school that day either. I think that morning I like got really sick too. And I think that's what got me into like ghost investigating. I remember talking to you about my friend Tessa, who was like a kid once, and swore my room was haunted ever since then. And I feel like that's really got me into it. But what recently got me into it was these guys. She picked me up at work. I was like, oh, you picked me up photography.
Here's my friend from work.
Yeah.
Remember, man.
I thought I was just gonna do some shots and leave, but I became part of the crew that night, which is really fun. That's really what got me into the paranormal stuff.
That is really cool. And the mirror, I'm kind of curious. Was that the only time you saw that kid in the mirror? Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that night I was like, I don't want it. Y'all could have it. Okay. But I remember telling my parents, they're like, you're crazy. Like, there is nothing there. But I know it was there.
Oh, no, I was going to say I really like the mirror story because we had one similar. We would hear stories, and it's kind of throughout just mirrors in general being portals, right? I guess is what I'm trying to get to. But portals and mirrors being portals is a huge thing that I'm kind of obsessed with. And we've had stories in our family where our great grandmother who was passing, she had a mirror in front of her bed, and it got to the point where they had to cover it because she was saying that she was seeing spirits, right, going in and out of the mirror as she was getting closer to her last days. So I really, even though the story was really quick and you only saw him once, I think that's really cool because mirrors freak me out and like we use them all the time. So it's just like crazy.
Now I wish I kept the mirror. Like before I was like, get it out of my room. I don't want that.
Also, I've seen them used in Paranormal Investigation as well, you know, to try to like help, you know, spirits cross over, you know, because like Leah said, they're kind of like
right.
So like to try and like communicate through them. So that's pretty wild. But I guess I was wondering, like, how did you guys all assemble, you know? So Beth said she got Chris from work. Like, how did the whole team like come together?
I started Ghost Seekers in 2018, and Beth has been my girlfriend for over 3 years now. Decided to bring her into the crew, and she makes a perfect fit because the way she's able to pick up on emotions is amazing, yet also terrifying to see her get like that, especially when she starts picking up on the anger. It gets a little scary. This guy, man, he just clicked with us like that. He just started making us laugh here, like left from right, and we just knew that he was a perfect match for the crew.
You know, talking about Beth having like this like empathetic power type situation going on, do you, Chris and Alex, feel like you have something very specific that you bring to the group that really like helps it all come together?
I mean, I know we all have like kind of our own thing. Like, I know some of us see more, some of us hear more than others. I tend to see more. I see like faces or shadow figures quite often. I know they hear stuff a lot more than I do. I don't really hear it as much.
I feel like definitely on my last investigation, I did a part 2, a return to the house that I did a house call investigation at. It was the second time besides Old Park Hotel where I was really like picking up on past trauma from that house. Because we started piecing together that this family had lived there prior. The mom was Bethany, the boyfriend or the father was named Jason, and they had 2 kids. The sons was Levi, and the little girl was Sadie. I started picking up on, as soon as I went to the bathroom, I started picking on like vertigo like feelings, and as if I just got hit in the head. Because I felt like I was about to pass out. In that moment, it felt like I had blunt force trauma to the head. And then later on, when we're doing a spirit box session in the closet, we get a female voice saying, he stabbed my head. And right there, I feel like that confirmed for me of what I was feeling. So for me, I'm just able to pick up on sometimes past stuff. And I feel like I'm finally starting to develop those feelings a lot more. From what she feels and sees to what I'm able to like pick up on to what you feel as well, because you're able to pick up on energies. Yeah. I believe.
I feel like he feels like shock more because you're like a lot of the time you're like he'll enter a room, it's like tense in you. You like get like real like jittery and jump. I'm nervous, that's why I'm jittery right now. But yeah,
definitely Old Park Hotel, because when we were almost every single room we went in, Dan Lefebvre, the owner, he's amazing. He was walking us and giving us a tour of the hotel, and almost every room I like froze and was like, I kind of feel like this happened. And before I could even finish, Dan would be like, yeah, that and he would say what happened. Like, yeah, the woman got pushed right in that spot. I'd be like, well,
Every room.
every other room, it was like entering a whole different world. Every single room in that hotel is like stepping into a whole different world.
So what were some of the most intense like experiences y'all have had on these investigations?
Oh, wow. You want to start with that one?
Sure. I would say mine would either be like Old Park with those emotions or Woman Hollering Creek. There's like this long road right where the creek is, and there was this kind of like dark abyss leading down that road. I felt like I was being drawn into said abyss, and everyone's like, you shouldn't go down there. I was like, something's telling me I need to go down there. I need to like go into it. And as soon as like they all kind of convinced me, okay, let's go back, I turn my back and I start walking, and I feel something like up on me real quick right at my back, where it was just tingling and numb. Like whatever was trying to get me to go in there was not happy that I was turning away. Mm-hmm. That place is crazy.
Ours is probably about the same time.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, yeah. Because when did mine happen? Like
jail.
Yeah, right. Like an hour later, 2 hours later.
Yeah. So our experience was right at the exact same time. It was at the old Lavaca County Jail in Hallettsville, Texas. This was only night 1 out of 2. So we're upstairs in the upper cells on the women's side. And it's about like 10:30 at night.
Yeah, it wasn't that late.
Yeah, it wasn't that late yet. Beth is taking a nap in the little house area downstairs in the meantime, while him and I are upstairs just using night vision cameras, nothing else. And as we're on the women's side of the cells, we start hearing like these scuffing noises. I'm not sure if you can hear my feet, but it was loud. Like it literally sounded like someone was in there with us.
Yeah.
Like, so here's the roof. There's a hole in the roof. Like someone can like get up there, look around. It sounded like you could hear the person like scuff off from the hole and jump down onto the cell where we were. It was so loud. It shook like the whole cell.
It shook the entire like floor with us, like a big prison. And the cameras don't do it justice.
Yeah, the camera does not do it justice.
Like, it sounds loud on the video, but it was like you couldn't hear anything else but that thump at the time.
We froze so hard. he flicked open his knife. I started calling Lisa.
I was ready to go.
Yeah, we were.
Did the cops come?
Yeah,
we had the Lisa's cop friend Kyle come out. He actually didn't go inside of the jail. I actually went outside, talked with him, and I was just like, "Oh, so you're not gonna like go inside and check with us? Like,
we'll go with you, man.
We'll go with you, like." But we were just kind of like, just like stood there, like, okay, like, yeah, I guess we'll go back in and investigate. It was definitely scary. And then night 2 is when you had your profound experience.
Yeah. So night 2, were we doing our solos then? We were?
Yeah, and then that's when we...
Yeah, so we were doing our solos, and I was in the sheriff's office. I kept feeling like someone was in the hallway. That didn't happen. And I just went upstairs to catch up with Alex because he got scared a little bit. I wasn't.
I did.
What do you call it? And we're in the men's side at this time, and the bars, you could only see through one eye through all the bars, but our door was wide open, but I could barely see into the room. And as he's like asking questions, as I'm like sensing something on my back or like across the way, I like turn over and I see a woman laying down on like the bed sideways, just like not blinking, staring at me straight in the face. And at that time I couldn't breathe at all. Like I just felt tightening on my chest. I just couldn't do anything but stare. Yeah. Like I was like frozen. Like I couldn't tell if that was real or not.
He started breathing really hard.
Yeah. That's really what killed me at the jail. Even like that, it talked like what happened, like like what happened between us. Like seeing the woman like scared the socks off me. Like,
we're huge fans and watchers of Ghost Adventures. I don't know how you guys feel about Zach and that crew, but anytime they get footsteps and walking, like that's my jam. I'm always like, like that freaks me out the most.
that was another thing at the jail too. That was night one as well. This was before him and I went upstairs. Before that experience happened, we started, because I was telling the camera and the audience like what we're about to do and stuff like that. And then you just hear dum, dum, dum from the upstairs. And we're downstairs in the long hallway. And we just freeze up and we're like, and he goes, I want to go. And then you just hear doom, 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 doom. And then I'm just like slowly coming towards the camera, and it is so loud. It was kind of like mimicking you're running down the stairs.
Yeah.
Like how you ran down the stairs earlier that day. It was like mocking his steps because it sounded similar to that.
Yeah, that was really cool. I like the footstep footage that y'all have on y'all's Instagram page. I was like, oh, that's so good. And it was at the jail, and I was like, dude, like I would have bolted. Like, peace, y'all have a good time. It was fun.
Yeah, if y'all ever do an investigation together, I would highly recommend going to the Lavaca County Jail.
We will write it down, and I will make sure we never go.
Well, I was just kind of gonna ask, like, what exactly, I mean, I know that Alex, you kind of mentioned a little bit of kind of what draws you into the paranormal, that you have like this curiosity of how they can do what they do. But I'm curious for the whole team as well, or even if Alex, if you want to expand on that, like what draws you into the paranormal? Like, why is it such an interest?
I feel like it mainly interests me because, you know, this isn't like a normal thing for people to like go out and do and witness for themselves, you know? And so I really feel like people in the paranormal community that do that for other people to see is amazing, because it's just putting more evidence out there for everybody in the paranormal community to use against the skeptics, you know what I mean? And it's just, to me, it's a happier place. Like, I love doing what I do. I love paranormal investigating. I have like a true passion for it. And for me, it used to be like music. I loved playing guitar and stuff, and I kind of fell out of that and went into paranormal investigating even more.
I think for me, one of the biggest reasons why I'm so into it was when I was really younger, I was raised by like two religious families, and me trying to find out what my own beliefs were, I think the first thing I went to was stuff in the paranormal world and dealing with like paganism and spirits and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's something that's really personal to me, because it was kind of me finding out who I am and more just wanting to learn more about it. It was like the first thing that really interested me in my own thing.
The thing that like got me really into it, I think, was my family, because my family like messed with like spirits and like a whole bunch of junk, and they're really disrespectful. So they like really got messed up there, and I like find it interesting finding out like how they're doing on that other side that we just don't know much about. You know, I feel like that's really interesting. And another reason I just keep going with these guys is because it's fun. They're fun.
Yeah, y'all seem like a really fun like group that y'all jive real well, or like mesh real well, you know, to make like great content. But I'm also curious, you know, me and Leah have been asked this question before, and I don't know, it's a weird thing to be asked, but I'm curious, how do you define the paranormal? What do you think it is?
I feel like at first I would say something that, you know, like things that are there that you can't, you know, see or touch, but people see and they feel things. So it's not necessarily that. I mean, it's just a different world. That's the best way I could describe it. It's here with us, but it's a different world.
I think I would have to agree on that as well. I feel like what the paranormal means to me is, I feel like I get my feelings from my mother, because she's also empathic as well. And so growing up, she would tell me like, yeah, you were seeing like people go down the hallway, because apparently when I was like 1 or 2, I'd follow things down the hallway like this and just lean my little head out of the room. It's like, oh, who's down the hallway? It's like, no one's there. And so when you get older, you start to develop this vial over your eyes. For some people, it doesn't go away, so they continue to still visually see those things, and it's a constant thing for them. So for those people, I feel like they constantly live in that world, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's just really hard to explain.
It is one thing. It is really hard to like really narrow in on that.
I guess how you would say Zach Bagans says, it's unexplainable.
We're just trying to understand. Okay.
The paranormal is like leaving part of your soul behind, basically. Like the house, for example, like the kids left something there in the house. The mom left something there in the house. The grandma left something there in the house. Jacob, exactly. So I feel like the paranormal is us like finding the shards that they left behind, basically.
And they leave those trails for us to find.
That's a really cool way to put it. I like how each of y'all
that was good.
broke it down. Because and like Bethany said, it's a really hard question to answer, but we get asked it and we're just always kind of curious what other people would say. And because even we've talked about like residual energy, right? Which I think is kind of like what Chris is saying, just kind of it leaves something behind. But I also like the way Beth put it, a different world, right? Because I'm also like a huge like dimensions, and are we just kind of crossing paths at the same time? Are we, like all that kind of stuff. So I think it's really cool how y'all each explained it, because it's all those things, right? Like it's all of it. That's really cool.
When you really think about it, it is.
I don't know. Yeah, it's unexplainable. Yeah, and I'm a dweeb, right? I was a English teacher for a while, and I always break it down to etymology. Like para is outside of, and then normal. So it's just really stuff we don't understand. I'm just curious about more of your experiences, like what other like cool stories you've got.
VFW probably, because here in San Antonio, we're the only investigators to investigate the VFW Post 76 downtown. And so that's pretty cool. But I've had some pretty scary experiences there in the basement. I don't necessarily think there's a demon there. Like, there's not a demon at every location, yada, yada, yada. But like, I definitely think there is a aggravated spirit trapped there, because you have to think that was also a battleground. It was a house to wounded veterans. Yeah, it's right on the Riverwalk. So much history is revolving around that home. I think this was when Christian and I were doing our duo preliminary investigation there. Him and I were doing a session down in the basement, no, just night vision cameras, no lights. We're doing a spirit box session, and we get this dark guttural voice come through and says the number 3. And I had asked, what does that mean to you? And you just hear like this like snarl through the spirit box. I've never heard a snarl come through the spirit box before, ever. That was my very first time hearing it come through like that, and it terrified me. Like, I kind of backed myself up into a corner. I was just kind of like, I don't know what to do. The energy from the basement compared to the upstairs and the attic of the VFW is completely different. Like, you go up and it's like this calm feeling. And then you start walking down into the basement, and it's like this static blanket starts like enveloping you.
I disagree with Alex. On the upstairs part, I feel like it's sad and like heavy up there. Cause that's why I stayed at the stairs when I did myself.
Oh, in the attic.
Yeah. No, in the attic, I don't like the attic. I feel like cornered, and I feel like really bad for that little girl that's up there. I can't remember her name, but the girl, Georgia. I feel bad for Georgia, because those rooms feel like really like deep. I feel like the side corners where the chair is. I hate that place.
Yeah, there's like this one random little room in the attic that you go into, and you look down it, and there's just a chair facing the corner
that they didn't put in there.
Yeah, they didn't put in there apparently.
I don't like basements, attics, or little doors that lead to rooms. Like, those are always haunted spaces.
I adore hole in the wall.
Yeah.
It's like a tile fell out of there, and it's just a hole. And I don't like sitting there because I feel like someone's just gonna peek out.
Yeah, no, totally. We had, it's just so interesting because another reason why me and Bethany really enjoy doing this is because of the parallels that we hear within the paranormal experiences that people have had. And even we had the opportunity to be at Haunted Hill House and Mineral Wells. And like the way you're kind of saying the upstairs and the downstairs, like just totally different energies. Like as soon as we went upstairs, it got heavy, right? And me and Bethany probably had our most experiences on that second level. And it was like, we got to get the hell out of here. It's like, no, let's go back downstairs. It's really interesting how even just different parts of a building can be so different and it's the same spot, it's all in the same place. So that's really cool.
Yeah, we've never been to Hill House in Mineral Wells. I want to do the hotel. Are they still doing renovations to the hotel?
When we were there, they were, yeah. Everyone's trying to get in that hotel, man. It's going to be like a paranormal flood when that place opens.
Oh, yeah. It's just going to be, they're going to be booked for like years.
Paranormal party.
What's kind of the Mecca? Like, where's like, we got to get there, or what's kind of the goal, place to investigate?
I know we have different places.
There's a few places.
What about you?
We both want to do the Conjuring House.
Definitely want to do the Conjuring House in Rhode Island. And I definitely want to do the Exorcist House in St. Louis. That's up there for me. What about you?
I want to do, it's called the Devil's Circle. Like nothing grows in that patch of grass. I can't remember where it's at. Devil's Circle. Does that ring a bell to y'all? No?
No. But I'm about to Google it.
I know. I was just going to say, but Google will know.
It's some type of forest, and there's like a circle. It's like a big circle. I can't remember how wide it is, but nothing grows in that region. Like people plant like trees, grass, barely anything. Like it's barren. And I also want to do the forest. Suicide Forest.
Suicide Forest?
I want to go there as well.
Yeah, just don't film a dead body.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be recording. It's going to be a show off there. But those two I really want to go to. No else is there. I feel too.
For my, closing the book, done, paranormal investigating, calling it quits, retiring, I would definitely do the Suicide Forest.
Yeah.
That's my last one.
Now you're going to make that video soon, and then just do it where'd you go?
Where'd
you go?
Did I see, correct me if I'm wrong, did I see one of y'all, did y'all go to the Haunted Museum or post about it or something? Or am I wrong there?
Yeah, we both did.
What was your experience there? Good, bad, weird, dumb?
The basement would probably be my, most terrifying part of the place.
I liked the what was it, the divot box room? I wanted to touch it so bad. It was the same as the abyss. It was like something was like, touch it. Like you need to touch it. Like put your hand on it.
I just couldn't get over that he actually brought the demon house parts to the museum. That baffled me because he wanted to get rid of that completely. And yeah, he brought half of the stairs to the museum along with the parts that were buried. I was like, what is this guy doing? Oh, the clown room. I'm not scared of clowns, but
people
dressed as clowns. I had just gone through some nerve damage in my legs, so I was still
crutches.
Yeah, I was still on crutches at the time. And this short clown comes out of nowhere at the end of this hallway, and her and my Nana push me down these 2 steps. I'm trying not to fall while this little clown comes towards us.
The one thing we were not expecting in the museum was a real person.
Yeah, no.
It's the one thing we weren't really...
Except for the tour guides.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were not expecting an actual scare person come out.
It's definitely a really cool experience just to see everything that he had, though.
Oh yeah, seeing everything that he had was absolutely amazing, and seeing some of the Twisted Tugs dolls as well were really cool.
Did y'all get any kind of feelings, like, because y'all are kind of empathic? Did you feel anything there?
My Nana, my mother, myself, and you felt something down in that basement for sure. When we started getting towards like deeper into the basement where like the Baphomet statue was when we started really feeling what was down there.
That's really cool. I definitely want to go back to that place. He's added so much. And I think it's funny how you're like, why did he bring it here? But he knows exactly what he's doing, man. He's capitalizing on it. I mean, why not? It'll get me there. So that's good stuff.
Yeah. I would love to go back.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a good experience.
You've kind of mentioned a couple other people just kind of being around. Has the group always been this? Or have you ever had anybody who's like, I'm out, like maybe they were involved and got uninvolved because of how serious the paranormal gets?
Yeah, we've had 2 Christians now in Ghost Seekers. The one that I'm sure y'all seen recently in the videos with the longer hair, he had to leave Ghost Seekers because of what he experienced at the jail, the Lavaca County Jail. And we were on the same side that him and I were on when we heard the loud bang. He started picking up on anger, like really strong anger. It was very visible too because of the way he was acting, the way his body was shaking, the way he like brought up his fist to the camera. When he did that, I think he realized what he did, because right after that he like covered his face or mouth in disbelief. When he was walking out of the cell, Christian started following, and all of us thought right at that moment he was gonna he's gonna fight, yeah. And so that's why Christian had to leave. I don't think we've had anybody else that has left due to paranormal. Just him.
Do y'all have any kind of, I don't know, I say ritual, but I mean, it could be anything, like whenever you go into a haunted space or leave, do you do anything to kind of protect yourself for when you go home or any of that?
For me, I just try to clear my head as much as I can and go in with a positive attitude and have a strong mindset to where nothing should affect you. Unless if you're going into a location where you're kind of like have been going through some stuff recently and it's gonna go after you.
I'm a child. I just kind of like walk in. I'm like, where's the good angle at? And I just I leave doing the same thing too. So
we just tell it, don't follow it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we do that too.
I'll depending like where we are, like I'll take like little crystals with me, have them in my bag or pocket, and then just if it's like really crazy, we'll sage ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Make sure that nothing comes home with us.
Because he's had to sage out his space before at his home. We've had to do the same here multiple times after coming back from Old Park and Goatman's.
Oh, y'all did Goatman's. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, well...
You have.
Well, we have recently, but we didn't... We decided not to put that one up only because when we went, there happened to be I don't know if I've cussed yet already. But there was like a shit ton of people at Goatman's. Like, it was like as if it was a park. I mean, I know it is a park, but like it was like a party gathering. I'm guessing like the lady that was on Ghost Adventures when they were doing their Route 666, I think she does her own private tours at Goatman's. And we believe she was holding one that night.
Oh, yeah.
And some of the people there that night were really mean and disrespectful to us. No film etiquette whatsoever.
There would be people hiding in bushes waiting for you to get near so they could like jump out and try to scare you.
Yeah,
or people like coming up to you being like, can I be in the video? Can I be like just kind of goofing off and treating the paranormal as a joke.
Yeah.
Or as like an internet trend instead of something that's real and out there. And that there's spirits and energies that have feelings and that, you know, you're disrespecting them.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, man.
That's a really cool spot, and it's a big hot spot. When I've been there in the past, it's rough. Like, it tries to take you out mentally.
Yeah, how so? What has it done?
It's a little hard to say, considering it's a little graphic. I was basically having visions of hurting another member with my machete.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to have old Christian now take the machete away from me, just in case like anything happened. Christian and I didn't tell Devin that until later that night, because I felt very uncomfortable with telling him. I mean, rightfully so. Like, you don't want to tell your friend that you wanted to like harm them. Yeah. And I definitely think that's one of the things I'm terrified of during paranormal investigating, is things trying to take over your mind and make you have attitude adjustments that aren't yours.
Was it something like, when it was happening, was it something that like, I don't know, like some people say things like you're watching it happen, like you're over here and you can see that like I shouldn't be doing this or thinking this, but like it's like this tug of war almost.
Exactly.
That's wild, man. Where do y'all plan on going next? What's on the books?
Well, we're trying to go back to the Old Park Hotel in July. But our next, like, really soon one, we're trying to plan the Emily Morgan, I believe.
So that's really awesome. And I know that we're getting close to the top of our hour, and this has just been so great to get the opportunity to hear about y'all's experience and learn a little bit more about y'all's approach. So really, you kind of gave us a heads up of where y'all want to go, but kind of fill people in on where they can find you, how they can keep up with you guys, and yeah, shout out those socials.
Yeah, of course. If you guys want to follow us on Instagram, it's Go Seekers TX. Same with our TikTok and YouTube. We don't really use Twitter. I'm in the midst of making a Facebook account for us, though. I also want to shout out a couple of teams, if that's okay. Finding the Paranormal, Jose. Also want to shout out Shaggy from Paraholics. We're actually going to be collaborating with him pretty soon in this year. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a really good one.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear. I love the paranormal community working together. I think it's really cool what we're all trying to do, even if it is just sharing the stories, or you brave souls going out there and bringing us the stories to share. So we appreciate it. Really awesome stuff. And again, really great talking with y'all today.
It was great talking with y'all. Thank y'all so much for having us.
Oh, man. That was awesome. Those guys are so fucking cool.
For real, man. And like, they've been doing this for a while. Like, Alex has like 7 years experience. Like, these guys have just been rocking, and it's very impressive. Their findings are legit AF, and it was just really cool to chat with them about it.
Yeah, and especially considering like how young they are.
Yeah,
like
man.
They're so fucking legit, and they're only gonna get more legit. You know, too legit to quit.
Hey.
But for real, they're only gonna get better, and you can tell that they have the passion and drive to keep doing it. And the vibe of the group is just so chill, man. They have such a cool just vibe about them.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a fan for life. And even though they're Coolio AF.
Coolio, oh my god, we're old. We're so old.
Edit that out. I need a cleanse.
Let's do.
Power, I beg of you. Hare to a Dumbledore. Give me the power, I beg of you. L'envoi, monsieur de Boischelio. Ce soir, Etienne, moi de mort. Hare to a Dumbledore. Wake!
Take a big, deep breath in. Let that mother sucker out. You're cleansed.
I needed it. Feeling old now.
I know. I'm feeling so old, baby girl.
I gotta go.
Well, on that note, thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us. Per usual. I'm Bethany.
And I'm Leah.
And we're signing off with 2 besitos.
From these potitos.
I liked it.